Hey, everybody, welcome to Breakfast All Day. Christy, Matt, Alonso, getting caught up with a Disney Plus exclusive. I don't know if there was any plan for these, either or both of these to be in theaters, but for several years now, Disneynature has been doing an April Earth Day release of an environmental documentary, and this year we get two, and they're both streaming right now in your own home on Disney Plus. One is called Elephant, and one is called Dolphin Reef, and we're going to take a look at both of them. Who wants to describe?
I will do this. Because for many years now, I have been the one, for whatever reason, to review all of these Disneynature documentaries. So I have seen every single one of them.
Oh, wow.
And I've also seen, and we love these around here, the far superior Our Planet series and the Planet Earth series. Our Planet's on Netflix now, if you want some of that. But these are definitely geared for little kids, to the extent that quite often in the series, they will clearly fabricate situations for the animals to do cute things in. I want to say it's Monkey Kingdom, where they just happen to have a kid's birthday party in a classroom, filled with cake and balloons, and they left the door open for all the monkeys to come in and have at it. Anyway, nothing quite so contrived happens here, but they do both have narration that is rather, or can be rather cloying in its anthropomorphism, one more than the other. So Dolphin Reef, which I think is the better of these two movies, is narrated by Natalie Portman. It's about a young bottlenose dolphin named Echo. They all get names and backstories. It's very cute to make it, I guess, more accessible to kids. I don't think kids need all that, but whatever. So Echo is a young dolphin figuring out how to navigate the perils and adventures of his underwater neighborhood in the South Pacific, specifically this giant reef. And as is the case with all these films, the cinematography is just jaw-dropping. And what it takes to get these shots is fascinating. And if you're wondering over and over again, like I so often do, how did they get that shot? Stick around during the credits, because I actually like that part even more than the films itself.
Yeah, I would say the closing credits of these movies are like the closing credits of Leica movies, where it's that's how they did that. Okay.
Yeah. So how did they get all those shots? Because it's really intimate and detailed, of tiny little fish and tiny little creatures. And it's so tactile. Every piece of coral and all the different flowers and plants and things that are blooming down there. So it's how this dolphin learns to be part of its school. And I guess don't dolphins run in schools like fish do?
Pods.
Thank you. And it's beautiful, but there's also, of course, as there always is, an ecological message here that if, the climate change is affecting what happens in the reef, and the ability of the reef to regenerate itself, and, the way that every little fish and animal has its own little role to play in maintaining this ecosystem.
They never use the phrase biological diversity, but I think they do a really good job of sort of illustrating the interconnectedness of all the species.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And then there is one creature in particular, the peacock mantis shrimp, which I loved, because it's this little bitty creature and he's super tidy. He's obsessed with cleaning up his little home.
He's a Virgo.
I love this guy. He goes in and takes pieces of coral he doesn't need anymore and flings them out and wants it all tidy. But he's little, but he packs a punch. And so you see in slow motion, if someone comes along to try to invade his turf, pow, he has the strongest, most impactful punch per pound, I want to say, of any creature anywhere.
Yeah, if you want to learn more about some really funny and informative stuff about the mantis shrimp, look up on The Oatmeal by Matthew Inman, who's the creator of Exploding Kittens, among other games.
Cool. Yeah.
He's got a really, really great informative comic about the mantis shrimp, and how it's totally an alien. It's insane. It can see. So one of the things that it talks about is that, we have rods and cones in our eyes, and the mantis shrimp has some exponentially more than we do, and can see so many more colors in the spectrum that we can't see at all. And it's insane.
That's really
it talks
cool.
about like given the chance, it'll break the glass on its aquariums, and yeah.
There's
So,
also the hypnotic cuttlefish.
oh
Yes.
my God. Anything like that where they can like camouflage themselves on the ocean floor and then pounce when their prey comes. Like, I love that kind of stuff. So that was really cool. But then there's also Elephant. And Elephant's narrated by Meghan Markle, better known as the Duchess of Sussex. And
But not anymore, right?
yeah, she still has the title. Prince Harry's still Prince Harry. It's just they live in Canada.
She's credited as such, certainly.
Yes, just because they're not enjoying the security detail of the royal family anymore in Canada or LA or wherever they live now. So the thing with this movie, again, this is once again a baby creature, a baby elephant, and we follow along with it and its family as they make the annual 1,000-mile trek across the African Kalahari Desert to the next water source. And what is really cool with this movie, a couple things, is this fantastic overhead shots of the entirety of the desert and the trails that go off in every direction that have been trod for centuries of elephants. Like they just instinctively know where to go. They know when to leave. They know where to go next. They have expectations of what animals they're going to find along the way and how to avoid them and how to fight them off. And so that's all fascinating. There's also like a Danny Boyle style montage technique where they'll like speed up a whole bunch of stuff of like zooming across the desert and like sunrise, sunset, and that kind of makes time move. But the script, my God, like what Meghan Markle is forced to say is so cutesy, like so much more so than what Natalie Portman is doing in Dolphin Reef. And the way she's saying it, she's not really schmaltzy.
She's not
I don't know the
actress enough to really not cute it up.
Yeah, I don't know the Dolphin Reef script is that much better, so much as just Natalie Portman sells it better.
She's Natalie Portman.
Here's what I think the difference is. I think Dolphin Reef has the reef, and so like it can really you can leave Echo to the side and talk about the mantis shrimp and talk about the cuttlefish and talk about like the humpback whale pod that shows up and like all these different. There are diversions and different things to talk about and things that you can talk about in a way that's more like these are the fish that come in and they eat the reef that keep it from being overgrown, and they don't all have to have names and family relationships and all the crap that these movies always do. Whereas with the elephants, you're pretty much with the elephants the whole time. They don't get to dash off to something else that's more just kind of plainly scientific, so it's you're kind of stuck in the family dynamic. Although it is very cool how they really underscore constantly that it's this matriarchy and the women elephants are really running the
show. So here's why I think that makes Elephant a better movie.
Okay.
Elephant stays with mostly one group of elephants, and if they do cut to another one, the group is not so big you can't really tell the difference. In the Kalahari, Dolphin Reef is all over the world. It is not. It absolutely.
It's not just in the South Pacific.
No, watch the credits. The credits has listings in Fiji and the Maldives and Hawaii and Washington State and Florida and the Caribbean. What's really obnoxious about Dolphin Reef is that, first of all, if you start really paying attention, it's clearly not Echo consistently at all, right? And the problem is, like, when you first see Echo, he's got some pretty prominent scars, because dolphins do, right? Like, they don't heal the way, like, there's no fur to cover it. And they're obviously cutting back and forth to different dolphins. Okay, fine. But don't show me, like, don't say that they're in the South Pacific and show me, like, the bumphead parrotfish, which is only found in the South Pacific, and then cut to the big thing about using the mud, which has only ever been observed by dolphins in Florida. That's the only place in the world that the dolphins do the hunting with the mud. That's the only place. And that bothered me. They're totally cheating, right? Like, the whales, they shot all that in Washington, right? Like, they're not at that reef in the South Pacific. And so that really bothered me. That,
So the underlying
I didn't know any of
these
that.
movies is that they are bullshit.
No,
yeah,
I mean,
like
clearly though, I did not know any of that, Matt. That's very informative.
I did not know that.
But clearly, like in
believe me, I know my South Pacific.
Clearly, in elephant, like, when they're trying to make it seem like the baby elephant is playing with like the baby zebra or the baby hyenas or whatever it is, like that's clearly bullshit. I mean, of course, whatever, it's for kids,
Right?
But they're forcing those cutesy moments
Narratives,
in a way that I found really distracting. And there's also like fart jokes. Come on. But the scene in the mud was cool. The scene with the mud in Elephant, I thought was cool when there's like a baby elephant that gets stuck.
Oh God, that
harrowing.
was
That was very, and also a great example of like the women looking out for everybody else. Like they're the badasses. They make things happen. I did not know any of that, Matt, but I found that instinct narratively more distracting in Elephant than in Dolphin Reef.
I guess it bothered me more in Dolphin Reef because I knew like, oh, this story's bullshit. Like, oh no, that's no. Right?
I wish these movies weren't so tethered to this idea that kids will only be interested if we create these narratives, because creating the narrative is what makes, like, if Dolphin Reef had been able to say, meanwhile in Washington State, the humpback whales, and if Elephant had been able to be like, just sort of deal with the mechanics and stuff, and like you can make this kid friendly. I think you can make this approachable and interesting, and without having to be like, oh, and here's little Jojo, and and I admire the idea behind these movies. Like, let's get kids to care about the environment. Let's get kids open to the idea of watching a documentary, a nature documentary specifically. But the way that Disney goes about it, I haven't seen as many as Christy has, but I've seen more than my share of them. My favorite was when the Jungle Cats one, where this little girl got very upset several times that had to be taken out before the mom finally just left, because there's a lot of like, the jungle cats are eating somebody, like there's a lot of wildebeests and zebras taking the fall in that movie, but I don't like the square they occupy in terms of this.
Right. Whereas Attenborough has shown us over and over and over again that the right kind of writing and narration, you can spend time with one creature for 5 minutes and that's all you need. You don't need a story, right? Like he can do just enough anthropomorphizing that it catches you, but it's not overwhelming, and he's not trying to manufacture a story.
The first one of these was called like Earth or something, right?
And that was great.
And does that one have the all the family relationships, or is it just like
they started out as much more straightforward nature documentaries, and increasingly have tried to concoct these, I guess, accessible, relatable stories for kids. And I think they don't need it, as Matt says. Like, if you want this kind of content for your family while you're home, on Netflix is a series called Our Planet. And each episode is a different section of the globe. Maybe it's a desert, maybe it's Antarctica, maybe it's the coral reef. So I would say if you want this without the cutesy, it's there for the taking. And Attenborough narrates those.
Right, Blue Planet. Like Attenborough's series that he's been doing for BBC for decades. Those are beautifully shot.
Mm-hmm.
The upside is, since you are at home, you could just turn the volume down and put on some nice music of your choosing that you think would be appropriate. Put on some Ladysmith Black Mambazo for the elephants, and put on like, I don't know.
No, I think you need to put on
the score for the Big Blue for Dolphin.
I think you put on metal for the whole thing. All of it.
Whatever,
like
you
see the whales, you see the elephant.
But look, you could that way you could just look at it and you have to listen to the nonsense.
Either that or yakety sax.
There you go.
Anyway, I'm saying 7.7 for Dolphin and 5 for Elephant.
What were mine again?
You said 7.8 for Dolphin and 7 for Elephant.
Yeah, I'll stand by that.
Okay.
I'm giving Elephant a 7, and Dolphin only gets a 6.
Okay, Dolphin Reef, yes. I call it by the wrong name. So our Dolphin Reef number is 7.2, and our Elephant number is 6.3. So they're both there on Disney Plus. They're about the same length, just shy of an hour and a half.
They're both better than Trolls.
Oh. Yes.
And Coffee and Kareem. Yes.
Yes.
if this is the bar. Thanks for watching. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on social media at BeFastAllDay, and check out patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. We have lots of extra fun stuff for our subscribers. Y'all are great. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week with more. Until then, bye.
Bye.